I'm going to quote a note that a couple of your economists put out talking about the credibility of the ECB. It's a note that came out, I think, from Karen Ward and Fabio Balboni, talking about the fact, and that sequence kind of really encapsulated it. The ECB is not going to hit its mandate as far as the eye can see, yet it's failing to act. And what they say is that increasingly the credibility of the ECB is going to be called into question as a result.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, the fact that he's also suggesting that monetary transmission mechanism has never worked better, I think, was a direct quote.
Yeah.
You know, I can see his point of view in that, but unfortunately I can't agree with him because then we would both be wrong. This is an environment in which not just the ECB, but I would suggest pretty much all of the central banks are facing a massive credibility issue.
Yeah.
And find there's things that they can tweak in terms of releasing capital keys or changing whatever, at least the minimum amount of time that they were going to do a QE program. Because at the end of the day, when we're looking at this and keep underperforming on inflation, and if that's their target, you know, I would suggest that they would have to act. But we're also in a point in time that they just don't simply have enough room to do that or political capital to do that.
So, Frederick, it is, from your point of view, the fact that they don't have the ammunition rather than they're keeping powder dry for later in the year if risk sentiment and volatility picked up?
Yeah, I mean, it's, to some extent, I would also try to maintain a little bit of dry powder, as it were. But I think this is a longer-term credibility issue, and I think that the credibility, not just of the ECB, but also of the Fed, and we can see the credibility of the dot plots being severely questioned now, even amongst the members of the FOMC. But at the end of the day, I no longer believe that we have the ability to offset any significant cyclical weakness, or for that matter, market volatility, through the use of monetary policy by itself. This will have to get into the realms of fiscal policy, and we still don't really have markets that are driven by that. Markets are still being driven by monetary policy, which I would suggest simply hasn't really worked. I mean, if the key question to all of us should be that if low interest rates and QE are so growth generative, where's all the growth?